Welcome in the Cosmic Unity Temple podcast. I am Dorota, your co host, and Sabinka. Today we are talking about gratitude. Why gratitude? Well, we figure harvest time, Thanksgiving time. Let's look what we can be grateful for, what we did this year. Sabinka?
Welcome, everybody. So, yes, the topic is gratitude because we need to see good things in our life, right? We need to see and notice the positive things. And when we are being grateful, we are bringing that in. We're inviting that energy. So, how about we start today with just a very short meditation to ground us and to bring in that feeling. And we often do focus on the good things on the outside of us. But let's be grateful for who we are. So I invite you to sit comfortably, put your feet on the ground, get grounded, place your hands on your heart, or one on your heart, one in your stomach, however you feel like you want to do. If you want to, you can close your eyes. Start breathing deeply in and out. Make sure that your stomach is moving so that breath goes completely through all of your body, and breathe at your own pace. Try to do slow breaths. And if you can hold that breath in for 1 second, you can do that. Then let it out slowly. Hold it out for 1 second and keep on doing it. And focus on turning off your mind, turning off your thoughts, everything that is happening around. It's a busy time. There's lots happening in the world. Let's quiet that area out and we can come back to it later. So quiet your mind, focus on your body. Bring your presence back into your body. Feel your body, feel your hands, your legs, feel your face, your ears. Keep on taking the breaths in and focus on your heart. See if you can hear it breathe. I'm not breathe. Hear it beat or feel it beating. A couple of breaths and let's send some gratitude to our body. Gratitude for it to be here, to be healthy, to be strong, for keeping and pumping that blood through the veins and bringing all the oxygen into the blood and circulating everywhere. For our lymphatic system to take all the goodies everywhere they need to go. To our glands, producing those hormones, the ones that calm us down, the ones that help us move. Be aware of your body. There's so many functions in our body that are just very, very important. So let's be grateful for it, for doing its steps every day, for picking up the things that you need to, for cleaning, for making the bed. It's an amazing suit that we have. So very grateful for it. And now be grateful for yourself, for everything that you're doing, for everything that you're putting up with, for being strong, for listening to yourself, for listening to your heart, for doing what you need to do, for being a part of this earth, for being a puzzle of all the other puzzles, for bringing that special piece, that special energy that is so needed here. And if you're not aware of that, be aware of it. Be grateful. You're doing your part and it's needed. It's a flavor that you're adding into everybody else, into the collective. Every inner work, everything that you overcome, everything that you work through and release, you're putting that information into the Mother Earth, into Akash, so everybody else can access it. So it doesn't matter how much you do or how little you do, you're always doing something. Be grateful for being positive, for bringing that light, for helping others, for smiling to strangers on the street, for opening the doors for others. Yes, we are grateful for who we are and for all the reasons that we came here for, and grateful for the journey to find out more of those reasons and of the purpose. And what a ride! What a wonderful ride, people. We can find out so many things. Let's be grateful for that. It's a journey of an unknown, and right now it's so unknown and it's so wild, but you know what? We're doing it. So let's be grateful for that. Let's be grateful for being fearful, not fearful. What am I saying? Let's be grateful for being brave, for being brave and doing what we need to do. All right, so come back into your body, move your feet, shake your body, shake your hands.
Shake it, shake it,
Shake it,
shake
shake
it.
it.
A lot
Shake it off, shake
to
off
be
whatever you need.
grateful for, that's for sure. I know that fear came for a reason, because we're not always feeling like we want to be grateful or we have a reason to be grateful for. So we can talk about that too. So you
Yes.
have a blend today that you were smelling before this podcast,
Mm-hmm. Yes,
and it
I
is.
wanted to gratitude. I don't know if you can see. I wanted to feel that energy, and I wanted to bring some information about what that energy feels like when we transform it into the plant nation, into the plant. I gotta say, it's very grounding. So being grateful brings us into the now, because we focus on the things that are here and now. And that's a very good exercise. Whenever when I think of gratitude, I feel here and I feel grounded. That's what I feel. Like with all of my being. It just brings me back into the body, to be honest. But it's maybe because I'm smelling this oil right now, and there's some special oils in there. I mean, different. It's a blend. I think of it, it's just like focusing on the now and what good we have in life. Because I remember when I was younger, or before being on this journey of awakening, of growth and inner work, I didn't really notice good things. And others would notice good things and kind of point out that there are good things. And so I started switching that thinking, because the things that were negative were the bigger things in my mind. They were always overwhelming, and they were just too much, and nothing else really was visible. So when I think of being grateful, I think of noticing the good things and actually inviting them, because now the focus is being shifted. So we're opening the doors to the good things.
Yes.
What do
Yes,
you want to add?
for me, gratitude. It wasn't, like you said, it wasn't always, the awareness wasn't always there that there was something to be grateful for. And I guess that goes through what you have experienced throughout your life, what you experienced as a child, and then what you experienced. Sorry, I'm trying to get rid of the rings on my glasses.
Same here.
What you experienced as a teenager and throughout your life, until
Right.
the moment that you actually realize that there is something to be grateful for, something that you can appreciate that exists, right? But it's
Right.
not, I feel like for me, it wasn't until somebody pointed out. It's not like it came by itself until somebody actually said, hey, yes, but the extreme situation, okay, you got hurt physically, And then somebody will ask you, okay, but what's good that came out of it? And you can like take a step back and like, really? How is it good that I got hurt?
Mhm.
How is it good? Well, for one, you can be grateful for many things, right? You're still alive, you're still walking, talking, and you can do your things. You healed, and what did you learn from the experience? Is, well, let's say you were walking through the bridge, and the bridge, knowing that the bridge is gonna break, you still fell in. What is the lesson for the next time? Don't walk on a broken bridge, right? Or don't cross the broken bridge, or something like that. There's always lesson in it,
There's
but
always a lesson.
yeah, but we
Yeah.
are not appreciative of the lesson until farther in time, and we look back of and we think what happened, and then we can recognize what we learned from this
Mhm.
experience. But in the moment when we are actually experiencing that, I don't think that there is a human being that can say, oh, I was grateful when I fell
Right. Well, I always laugh when people fall down, but that's me. I can make it a joke.
down. It is
But
well,
that's a very good point because this is actually what inner work is about, right? It's
yeah,
going through a lesson, getting through something that can be seen as a negative, but what are we going to learn from it? And we don't want to learn the negative from it, right? We got to
yeah,
switch that idea and learn something positive and see, what we're grateful for. And once we realize that this is actually the mirror, so I was going to say that, when we bring gratitude into our life, we are creating a mirror. So we're starting to appreciate things and appreciate life. So in return, we can receive appreciation, right? We can receive people who are grateful. We can just receive that because when it's not there, no matter what we do, no matter how much we do, we will attract people who are not appreciative of it. And why? Because we have to learn how it feels like when we are not being appreciative.
right.
And so opening that channel, opening that mirror of inviting in people who are grateful and appreciative, and being grateful actually opens us onto receiving things. Because when we're grateful, we notice that things come towards us and we open our heart and we're ready for more, right? We're ready to get more out of it. And
Yeah,
and,
we
and it's also an
concentrate.
intention, right?
Yes, we concentrate on it,
Focus.
so we bring more of it into our
Mhm.
lives, right?
Yeah.
It's a like it works like magnet. The more of it you do, the more of it you are, and the more of it
Yeah.
you bring into your life.
Yes.
Create overflow of gratitude.
It's like anything else, working with your spirit guides or working with some ascended master. When you say his name, her name, when you think about him, read about him, you're inviting them into your life. Same with gratitude. It works in the same way. And so being unappreciative is affecting our spleen. I was doing a little bit of looking into my favorite books. And spleen is an organ next to your solar plexus area. So there's a little hint that when we are ungrateful, we're actually hurting our solar plexus, and that energy is being sucked out of our spleen
Yeah, if
for
we
other
can stop
organs
for a
too.
moment
Yeah.
on the spleen. So I had to be very ungrateful in the past.
What did you do?
I wasn't grateful. It's what I wasn't doing. Well, because the spleen and spleen meridian was showing often for me,
Mhm.
and it's if anything, it would be not appreciating my body and the way it worked. When you criticize your body constantly, and for me, I wanted to be so healthy, and every time I tried different way of bringing the health, and health to me is slim body, right?
Mhm.
I was vegetarian, pescatarian, and anytime.
Like when we're don't see the sweetness in our life.
Mm, yeah.
We don't see everything's just like overthink things. So let's say when we're ungrateful, we have those thoughts
Mm-hmm.
of, oh my God, this person, blah, 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 blah. However we do it,
Mm-hmm.
and we're over analyzing the same thing and the same thing and the same thing. When it comes to digestion, idea comes, we get it done, next. And when we still are stuck on the same thought situation, we will also affect our digestive system.
Well,
So
that's digesting, mental digesting, right?
no, yeah, not being able to digest
Right.
whatever happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the same thing goes mental with emotional. If you're not able to digest or pass or release the
You have
emotions.
to grasp what that means to you. And nobody else can really explain it to you, because you have to realize what it means for you to work through certain emotions and let go that attachment that you feel emotionally in your body, and let that part go.
Move through your body, right?
Mm,
Emotion is water. You are water, and
right.
you know it.
Mm,
It's
mm,
gotta go. Once it enters your being, it has to pass
right.
through and let go. If it doesn't, what's happening? I can envision Hoover Dam holding all those emotions, and one
Right.
day, poof, and it breaks, and then you get flooded, and it could you could experience like
You can
a
drown
lot of
you,
anger,
anger.
uh,
Yeah, it depends what kind of
uncontrolled
an
anger. Yeah,
emotion. Mm,
yeah,
like depression,
yeah.
and motivation. It depends. We talked about some elements, right? Like earth,
Mm.
water, in another podcast earlier on, and that has to do with that. So depending on who we are and what element is in our chart, we're going to feel different emotions. But for me, once you get a little bit more sensitive, so once you work through some of your things, and then you just feel those emotions, and they're body wrecking, they're very uncomfortable, and that what helped me really, you know, um,
And
because
then
let's
you
say,
can feel grateful when you
yes, I'm grateful
actually
when you
when you
don't really
actually
deal with
can
that.
release
Right,
it.
right. So I said that before, I'm gonna say it again for those who didn't hear. I used to, my throat chakra was an overactive chakra. And it was my spirit talking to myself, and I was explaining myself to myself, until one day I was like, oh, I don't have to do that anymore. Why am I explaining myself to myself? But I was using
I
my
would love to
throat.
see that conversation or hear that conversation.
I
Can you
was,
demonstrate?
for example, being a mom in a house, and like somebody doesn't notice, is
Mm-hmm.
not being grateful or appreciative of your work,
Mm-hmm.
because they don't spend the time in the house, and they don't really see. Let's say I'm sorry, mom, I'm gonna talk for you. Um, she comes home and she doesn't like something the way it is. And
Mm-hmm.
and because I was busy, because I was taking care of my son, or I had to go there, and I would just constantly. So I always say, focus on what you say, and
Mm-hmm.
find things that you repeat and what that is. Because I would explain my work. I would talk about how much I did,
Mm.
because I didn't appreciate my own doing, and I didn't feel fulfilled in any way in anything that I was doing, because I always felt like I'm not doing enough. So I would always tell myself, I was cleaning, I was doing this, I was doing this, I was doing this. And finally I heard it, and I'm like, oh yeah, I am doing this. Ah, I noticed. And I started being appreciative, and 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 I would just do it so often, in my head, in my voice, that when I got sick, I would lose my voice for 3 days.
Hmm.
Everybody was
Interesting.
happy in the house, and that was an overactive chakra. So for anybody who gets sick and you lose your voice, you're talking too much, my darling.
Talking too much, or you're
Talking
not
too much.
saying your truth.
Or if your throat burns, like
Mm-hmm.
really burns, because I didn't feel the pain, I was just mute. It was like,
Mm-hmm.
shut up.
Mm-hmm.
But if your throat burns, then there's burning things in your
Mm-hmm.
in your throat that you gotta speak. So your body really tells you. what needs to be done.
See, for me, even relating to what you said about doing your regular chores, so like it's attached to your title, right? You are a woman and you are mother and you are wife, so you have responsibilities. So it's not actually something that you are doing, it's your job to do it, right? It's your
Mhm.
job. So when I was doing my job, that when it was when it was done, I was like, "Oh, that's done," and I wouldn't say, "Oh, I did that, I did that, I did that, I did that." I would just wait for someone to actually see that, so I wasn't talking about it. See
Mhm.
that and appreciate it, and if nobody acknowledged, "Oh, the house looks great today," or "Nice dinner," or whatever, it was like I didn't say anything, but when in a conversation something came up, I was like, yeah, I was actually busy doing my job.
Yeah, because not, if you don't do it, you don't really notice it.
Yeah,
That's the thing.
but
You don't notice it.
we
But yeah,
learn. And it's great that we grow up and grow out of things and we can acknowledge our own
self, right?
ourselves and our
Mhm.
work and what we do, and it doesn't have to be important to everybody. I mean, I
No,
clean the house not because somebody comes over and says, "Oh, your house looks great." It's because I feel comfortable in a clean house,
yeah,
because I
me
feel
too.
good in a clean house,
Mhm.
and that's what I do it.
Yeah,
And then I can be grateful that I have clean house.
right. And the house feels grateful, right?
Yeah, right.
Don't you feel that? I mean, I feel that when I clean my house, I feel it great, like being grateful. When I clean my car or do the oil change, I feel the car grateful.
And it runs
It runs way
like
better.
magic.
Okay. So
Yeah.
it's, so even being grateful and say, I know when we don't carry that gratefulness inside, it's hard to be grateful for others. And that's something that we should practice. I noticed that. Let's say, what example I can give? Let's say word I love you. If we were hurt by somebody that we loved, or we were raised in a house where I love you was not said, it's hard to say it.
Right.
It's hard to give a compliment if we were raised in a house that was always um, not discouraging and criticizing, right? So with same with gratitude, you have to learn how to be grateful. You have to overcome that resistance. You have to practice saying it and see how just it shifts the energy right away when you come up and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so grateful that you were understanding today. Thank you.
Yeah.
And we're inviting that. It's like spreading magic into the
Yeah.
air by
And
saying those
see
words.
the opportunities
Hmm.
for the things to be grateful for, like opportunities. What am I grateful for? Positive. And gratitude always finds its way in because it's gratitude for me connects with that compassion, connects with the love, connects with care. You see the work of someone, you are appreciative of that, whatever they did for you, even little things
The smallest
that
things.
make you
Yeah.
happy, that make you smile, even if it's just a joke, of that your loved one is gonna make because you are having a bad day. You have
Mhm.
a reason to be grateful, even though you don't feel like smiling, but they make you laugh, make you smile, or just make you stop cry. Even you can feel that in your heart, that gratitude for that
Mm.
person.
Right. And by doing that, you also invite them to do more of that. Like that energy is being returned and there's
Yes.
infinity is building, you're saying thank you and they say thank you and now it's not you only giving energy away. Because when you're ungrateful and when you're not appreciating, um, you will give, but you won't receive anything in return because you carry that energy in your field of I'm not grateful, so you're not getting back. The doors is closed, right?
Right.
So when you're grateful, that energy is coming back to you, and it starts moving back and forth, and that makes you feel better. That makes you feel less drained. There's just so much that's going on. A lot gratitude today between me and
Yeah.
Dorota, because the last few days were just so intensely busy for me, and I'm just not on my
A lot
regular
of juice,
track.
lemon
Yeah, a
juice.
lot of lemons and juices. And yesterday I did a big blooper with Dorotka. We were scheduled for a podcast, and I went to sleep and I forgot about it. And my brain was thinking, oh, finally I have time to relax. And then I woke up at 11 p.m. and a thought came into my mind, and I'm like, oh my goodness.
I'm counting. This is the second time.
Yeah.
three, three
And
strikes
I said, oh, I
and it's
did it
gonna be punishment.
again. Right. But I wasn't, I did that a couple of times, so I learned how not to beat myself up too much.
Yeah, you do.
I had trouble falling asleep, but then the next morning I said, I'm sorry, and and we were just being great. I was being grateful for you being very understanding and still appreciative, and it keeps that energy going. So I'm very grateful for
Thank
you
you.
and
I take
and
it.
for us
I receive your gratitude.
and for doing this and having these amazing conversations, because they definitely vibe us. And today I was actually also trying to find, when it comes to Young Living essential oils, we do have megahertz numbers for them, which means what the frequency number is of the oil. And I couldn't find one for gratitude, or it wasn't in my book because I have an older edition of the book. So I took a pendulum and just trying to see where it would be. So it's like around 115, 13, somewhere around there. So when it comes to megahertz, what our body is between 20 and 60 or 70, I believe.
Well,
So that's
25 is dying body, so
yeah,
so a little bit more than that.
but the physicality, right?
Yes,
So
yes, 65, I think.
115, right? 115 would be working with that emotional, or even maybe higher, maybe not yet, just working that emotion, because the higher ones would be the divine communication and stuff. So it's a great
It's grounding,
idea.
so I feel like gratitude goes both ways. It's not only grounding your awareness, grounding you in your body, but it also connects you to the source and connects you to the earth, right?
Right, right, right. So how would that work? Let's think. When we are grounded, our mind, I feel like when I'm grounded, my mind is quiet, or it's more quiet. So I'm
Peaceful.
here, and then I can receive information versus my mind spinning off and talking and thinking and throwing things out there, right? So that's how that works. Yeah, we can get connected with our guides and stuff when we are grounded.
Week was challenging, so I'm not surprised that you were tired and I was tired. You said that you took a nap and I was taking a nap at 2 o'clock. Yeah.
Sometimes you need to, and let's be grateful
Yes.
for knowing how to do that, because I definitely was one of the people who felt really guilty for doing any of those things.
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
just push myself to do things and things and things. But yeah, being grateful is so needed. So we invite everybody to practice gratitude daily. Daily. When you go to sleep, just say even 1, 2, or 3 things that you're grateful for. There's always something to be grateful for, and start shifting your mind from not seeing the good things to seeing the good things, and raising your vibration with
My
that.
grandma, when I was in her house, she used to tell me that when you pray at night to be grateful for the day that has just ended, pray for the peaceful night and to wake up in the morning. And when you wake up in the morning, you are grateful that you are awakened. Well, my grandma was obviously a little bit older than myself. You feel your body is healthy and you can do things. So even sometimes when we going through hardship, but we turn around and we look at ourselves. I have two hands, I have two legs, I have a head on my shoulders, I'm healthy, I can fix whatever is happening with my life as long as I have health, right?
Right.
I was watching a speaker in one of the Young Living conventions. He had no legs, like I
Oh,
don't remember his name.
I was there, that
It was an
convention.
amazing,
Oh my
amazing
gosh.
speaker. His mother would not help him.
Yeah.
She would cry, but she would not help him because she knew
Mhm.
that he needs to live his life on his own
Yeah.
one
She
day.
had to make him push through and make him learn how to
Exactly.
walk, how to drive. I mean, he did not have full legs. He did not have full arms. I was so touched by this story and I was crying. And yes, that will make you feel grateful
And you
for what
know,
you have.
one thing that hit me when he was walking and talking, at some point of his story, I forgot that he doesn't have legs. I forgot that there's anything physically missing in his body.
Yeah. Because
He
you could,
was
yeah,
walking and talking, and all I could see is the man walking and
right.
talking. I did not see anything else.
And he had so
And
much wisdom, right? Just
absolutely,
so much strength and wisdom coming out of a person who
absolutely.
has every disadvantage that we could think of
Yeah.
and every reason to say, I can't do something because, when you see people like this, there's such strength. I mean,
Yes.
yeah,
And
it's
everything that we talk about, it sounds like excusitis because what's your excuse?
excusitis. Oh gosh, I never heard that before. That's a good one. Excusitis. You got excusitis, people.
Yeah, no excuses. You have 2 feet and you have two hands and you have head on your shoulders. As long as you are willing, you can change everything, right?
Right.
I wanted to give up on so many things. But I felt like if I give up on this one, what is the next thing I'm gonna give up on?
Mm.
So I was like, no, I have to do this. I can do this and push through. I don't know if everybody experienced that,
I think
but
so. It's like this resistance. I think we all have some type of resistance somewhere.
as long as I'm winning and I'm expanding and growing, I'm grateful for that awareness. I think that's the greatest tool ever that we can become so aware of the things that are happening within our physical body, within our emotions, within our
Each
mind.
time you feel grateful, it's like this energy boost. Psh, it's like you just
Yes.
had a sip of some energy drink. You're grateful. So let's change that energy drinks into being grateful.
Yeah.
Energy
Recharge.
boosts, recharging.
Recharging station. Gratefulness. Let's review what we are grateful for from the beginning of this year for us as co-hosts of this podcast. So where did we start? Where do we
Well, I'm gonna say, I am grateful that we spoke our truth and shared that we feel like we wanted to do something because that was mutual and we decided to do it together. So I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful that we were brave enough to do it. We were brave to set up the images that you can see in the back, and we were just being who we are. We're bringing that in. I'm very grateful for that. I'm very grateful that we never give up, even though the beginnings were a little shaky, and we were re-recording again and again, and we were obviously looking at ourselves, and all kinds of thoughts came through, but we pushed through, we continue. We were trying to decide once a month, once every 2 weeks. We're doing this weekly unless there's something that's happening and is
Yeah,
making us
vacation,
shift those days.
holidays, things happen. Life
Right,
keeps moving. Nothing stops because we need a podcast recorded
right,
today. And many times there's internet is not working, of the software doesn't want to do what we need it to do, or there is too much noise outside and dogs are barking, or there's nobody to take the dog out. So Still, after we squeeze the lemons, we come back and we do it.
Do it.
And we did it in two languages, in our native language, Polish, and in English. And we have so far recorded 12 podcasts. This is number 13.
Nice, we're doing it. Yes, and it's practice, it gets easier and easier. So it's all about practice. So whenever there's anything that comes your way and you want to be grateful for something, but you don't really feel like you can be grateful for it because it's not as good as you want it to be, just keep on doing it. Be yourself, keep on doing it, and you'll see. It's only practice.
Yes.
You're your biggest critic, so don't be criticizing. Be grateful for the smallest of action that comes from you, because
Yes.
that's moving that energy, that's breaking through, that's releasing. You just gotta keep on doing it.
Yes. The light language that we have on those pillars, the rose quartz pillars on the back, the light language that you guys can hear at the end of our podcast. So much to be grateful for. This is our way of showing up with who we truly are. We try to bring in what we feel that is going on in our lives right now, the energy that it's surrounding us, the subjects that we feel that are interesting and maybe helpful for you, if you know how we did this, how we are.
This year, I'm grateful that I chose to push myself through and decide, okay, I'm going to do this and do this regardless of what, because I noticed that overthinking isn't there as much, and it's easier for me, and it's, something comes and it's like, okay, I'm just going to do this. Before it was, oh, do you have time to do this? Is it going to clash with something? It was just this unnecessary chatter in my mind, and that's instantaneous. I'm grateful that I did push myself. And it wasn't pushing, like overly pushing. If I felt that it's way too much, then okay, it's not too much. It's too much. I can't, I'm not gonna kill myself over it, but I would just continue and be, what's the word?
Persistent?
Persistence, yes. Oh, I was so off. Yes, I will be persistent, and then you kind of like program in that persistence into your body, so you don't have to deal with the thoughts anymore. The persistence takes over, and it's there, and it's so good. I'm so grateful for that.
I am so grateful for my feet because they carry me every day, three times a day. Walk. I'm not at peace. I walk faster, so I burn more calories. And I'm grateful for that too.
For the body that moves you. Yeah, because some people need to move to work through energy.
Yes, and I think that's my thing. So we have at the end of this podcast, we're gonna put some shorts from our podcast, the ones that we felt that are funny. Just a fun way of saying this is what we did. This is what we are grateful for 11 podcasts. And we were not working every month. There's 12 months in a year, but the vacation time was totally paused. But 12 podcasts, this is number 13. I feel like it's amazing, and I'm grateful.
We decided to do this because it really helped us be in a different place. We're not enclosed anymore. We're out there, we're doing it. And it makes you feel brighter and makes you feel more energetic, and it's very healing. So that's what we do. So we invite you to be who you are, be grateful for who you are, and spread your gratitude, be grateful for others.
Yes, and until the next time, be aware and stay in gratitude. Bye.
I'm grateful for you. Thank you.
And now our journey through 2024.
for this one, and the title is
It was the word, and the word became. Never mind.
Wiesz co, nie będziemy dzisiaj tego nagrywać, bo mój komputer nie działał.
What do you think of yourself? How do you see yourself?
Even if you're on this journey for 1 year.
Tak? No idź do przodu, idź
No nie
do
myślę, że to jest jakaś magia, która się od razu dzieje. So we're
Doing
aware
this.
that we're being affected by another. We're squeezing the lemons.
Yeah, this
We're
is
aware
not
that
milking.
we're being affected by another Cosmic Unity Temple. Today we have a very special gift.
That is
with us.
beautiful because there's always so much confirmation. What point the souls decided to come into our galaxy.